I'm ready. I'm ready for it to answer these questions. But hopefully, it should give people a bit more of a not an overview, but more of a general rounded approach, or a general rounded better understanding of the way that we work, rather than just seeing specific avenues and just like kind of being very almost single focused in each presentation and giving just a topic. They should give a nice little, 360-degree little review about how that information's come about, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And people watching this obviously have seen Boxing Science before. They'll know a lot about myself already, but giving a little bit more of an insight to how I got to this position now. And something that they don't know is that I set off at 5:45 in the morning and I get home at 9 o'clock at night. So I've got my
glitz and glamour.
Yeah, I've got my rocket fuel ready.
And that's just this
in product placement, by the way.
But Starbucks, if you're listening.
Yeah. But yeah, look forward to answering some questions.
All right, so an obvious one to start with. Can you give us an introduction to who you are and how you first started off in sport? Maybe give us an example of some of the kind of sports you played as a kid, and how that inspired your professional career.
Okay, so I'll start from the beginning with this one. As a kid, I was just absolutely obsessed with football. Thought I was going to make it until about 14. I'm one of them typical kids that went to the academy, had a trial, didn't make it, then ended up being a little bit sidetracked away from the sport. On that sidetrack, I found the gym. From about 12, 13 years old, I watched the Rocky movies and I wanted a six-pack ever since then, so I was doing 300 sit-ups a day, which explains a lot of my mobility issues later on in life. But I was like obsessed with fitness, decent enough runner, competed for the school cross-country running, but obsessed with fitness, and then got to around about 14, 15 years old, in a typical testosterone building, wanted to get massive muscles, so I was training in the gym, fitness first, and just basically doing bodybuilding, and that just kind of like took over. That was a main passion of mine, main hobby. And I was like, even like picking my GCSEs, my mum were like saying, you're not going to make much as a sports coach, PE teacher or whatever, leave your options open. So she wanted me to pick IT, business, same in A-levels, I picked business and media with that as well, which has played quite well for me with Boxing Science, obviously doing the business and the media side as well. But always like kind of keeping my options open. But once it got to university, I was like, right, I want to do sport and exercise science. Still didn't know what I wanted to do with that. So for the first 2 years, I was not really focused. I weren't doing great. I probably coming out of the degree and my master's degree, I probably was the most improved student, because I was starting with pretty poor grades, and then after the second year doing this work placement, I decided I want to do strength and conditioning. I want to do a job that I enjoy, I love, I've got a passion for. I didn't want to go through like the everyday grind, and thought that if I don't work hard now, that's what I'm going to subject myself to. So kind of dug in from that placement. I got in touch with Lee McMahon at Sheffield United Football Club, went and did work placement there, which lasted 3 years. I did 2 years with the academy, then a brief stint with the first team as well. During that, under-18s at Chesterfield Football Club, where I was leading the academy, strength and conditioning, sports science, doing bits of work with Sheffield Eagles as well. But whilst this was happening, my passion and my main sport that I was focused on was boxing. Don't come from a boxing background. I've been to a few sessions and decided that I don't really want to get punched in the face. But as a fan, I really enjoyed it, and training a boxer, how good does that look on videos? Like I said, the main reason why I started getting into training was like watching Rocky films. So I was like, right, I want to do strength and conditioning in boxing. Not only that, I see a massive opportunity, because boxing, when we started, was quite far behind the other sports, and it still is now. And then you know, seeing these like kind of programs in football, in rugby, and different sports, I wanted like to set a future for boxers. So there's thousands of boxers like training per week, and there isn't the strength and conditioning, there isn't academies in place for them to get the most out of them physically. So in 2013, I started like working with a few boxers voluntary. One of them being Callum Beardo, who I'm working with now, and with Callum got in touch with Brendan Warburton at Sheffield City Boxing Club. Still got an amazing relationship with them now, but a lot of their amateurs started coming to Saturday morning session, combat conditioning, and then a few other gyms started getting involved, Ingle Gym, Sheffield Lane Top. You know, we started getting a bit of reputation doing like Saturday morning sessions, and then it's kind of built up from there, doing masters research and doing fitness testing for boxing, and that kind of was like the cornerstone for boxing to push for boxing science to push forward to start training people, start publishing results online on his blog, and it's just got bigger and better from there. And obviously Boxing Science doing really well with online programs on his online projects, and working with some current and future champions as well. It's been a good journey, and excited for the future.
Hello everyone, it's Danny Wilson from Boxing Science. I'm here to tell you more about our Ultimate Coaching for Combat Sports workshops. If you're a boxing coach or fitness trainer wanting to get the most out of the athletes, or maybe you're an athlete that are wanting to know more about the sports science in their training, well, these workshops are definitely for you. So we provide educational and practical workshops about the sports science behind boxing and combat sports. We take the complicated science and deliver it in a way to get practical learning experience for you to apply to your athletes in any training environment. We've delivered these courses over weekends up and down the country, and we've received some amazing feedback. Please visit our Eventbrite page at boxingscience.eventbrite.com to get your ticket today.
What advice would you have for a student who was perhaps in that similar position, maybe at the end of the undergraduate, starting the MSc, or halfway through the MSc, or just about finishing those? You know, those level 6, level 7 students. What advice would you give to a young, aspiring, driven student now wanting to get into strength and conditioning?
There's literally so much that I can say. I think I've got a full an hour and a half presentation on it as well. But you know, not wanting to sound too much like David Brent with different quotes. But I've got a few like different things that I see as being really important. Something that I've been saying to a work placement student today is be passionate about what you do, but don't be emotional about it, unless that emotion is going to be a positive one. You're gonna, if you're working in high performance sport or in any job, things aren't going to go your way all the time. And if you react emotionally and not logically, you know, you can get yourself into different situations. And you know, if I were emotional with the boxers, and if they pee me off and I talk to them in the wrong way, they might end up chinning me. Or they might not end up working with us again, because they're not forced to be here. And you know, leaving your emotions at the door is a big thing. And I think that I've maintained a lot of relationships that I've got, like long-standing relationships. I've been working with some boxers for 4-5 years, and sometimes they'll have pissed me off about different things, but you know, I'll never let them know it. I'll just kind of carry on. If they have done, I won't respond straight away to them. If it's over text or anything like that, I think, right, how can I like respond logically? I'm still emotional about it. I still I have highs, I have lows, but I never let that rub off onto like other boxers, the athletes that I work with, or my peers as well. So yes, so definitely be passionate about what you do, but don't be too emotional. Don't be thinking if something happens bad, it's the end of the world, and it affects your weekend, it affects how you treat your partner or anything like that. Kind of try and stay away from emotion as much as you can. Another thing is, all them things that I'm saying about like Chesterfield Football Club and working at Sheffield United, these have been really influential things, and they're all for free. And I think that coaches can be trapped by trying to chase the money too early, trying to go for paid opportunities or doing like kind of like paid PT roles and favouring that and kind of focus on that, like, oh, I need to earn this amount of much, because I've been, whilst working through, I've hardly earned anything, and year by year earning a little bit more, never want to take a backward step. So mature students find it harder committing to uni and everything like that, because they've come from all right paid jobs, well paid jobs, and they're back down doing it, and they've got a family to feed and bills to pay and everything like that. So once you start chasing the money, your priorities for like kind of free and voluntary experience where you can learn so much, you're not going to prioritise that. So I think not chasing the money straight away. There's a point where you need to go, right, that's it, I'm going to get paid opportunities now. But once you start chasing the money, you're not going to prioritise them fantastic opportunities, them internships. Another thing about internships as well, I think I had the perfect mix of working as an intern at Sheffield Hallam Active, and working in professional sports settings as well, because I feel like as a coach I've thrived off being able to explore my programs, my coaching style and everything like that in a university setting, but what's the real world setting look like? And that's what I found out at Chesterfield. I could do that with all my university teams and athletes up there, but what's it work like in the real world, and having them limitations in place. So making sure, like, when you get the experiences, just don't think, oh, I've done 3 years in university gym, I'll be fine to go and work with professional athletes now. You've got to kind of work and thrive in different areas and develop different skill sets as well. I think I've got loads more, but I think I'll leave it there. So the main things is be passionate but not emotional. Don't chase the money. Try and focus on building your experience through internships and having 2 different or 3 different types of opportunities. One where you're going to be really limited, and one where you're going to be able to explore as a coach. So.